Good morning, good morning. Well, it is a new year, and I did not spend a lot of time on social media wishing it for everybody. Kind of took the day for the most part and worked on planning and thought processes and for the upcoming year. I did not get my vision board done yet, though. It's something that I want to continue to work on. I recorded that post. If you didn't watch yesterday's post, I recorded it. It was one without my hat. My hair was still fixed from church, and I just sat down there and did that. So change it up a little bit. All right, we'll give this just a minute, get a few people on here. I'm not going to hang out for long just because I know that early morning Tuesday, out of time, people aren't going to be as, they're not quite as quick to get on. So, man, nose is running. All right, so let's, we are going to go over to, and I'm trying to decide which one here. There's two scriptures that fit together that, and I got this new Bible and I don't have them. Okay. Let's, morning Mara, morning Robin. Starting off the new year right, we're going to get back to daily. I skipped yesterday as it was good to see a lot of people on there pretty much right at time. There is always on a holiday like that, a lot of people sleeping in, I figured, and I thought about just doing one later in the day and a little bit later, and I thought, well, we'll just roll with a recording. I sit down there after church in the evening and after on Sunday, and it just flowed, and I thought that's good. We will put that up, and that worked out well. So, but let's roll on today because we got to get out. I got to get going to another Bible study and men's Bible study out there at Sale Barn. Somebody asked me, it starts at 7, and of course everybody's probably this guy's probably back to work. He was out for Christmas last week, but he asked. We were already in it by the time he asked, but I don't lead that. I just help to facilitate it, and it's really good. So. But it's really good. We go verse by verse through. We're going through the book of Luke right now. Morning, Mom. All right, so let's go to Colossians chapter 5, and I want us to just look for a minute at this one scripture because I was doing one of my radio spots and I was working on it and I didn't get it finished. So, but where the inspiration for it or the idea for the topic came from was I was listening to an old sermon of Billy Graham's. It came up on my phone, and it was from, I'd say, in the 70s, maybe the 80s. He was older, so it wasn't one of his old ones, which you can tell those they're black and white and very low quality, but no less powerful. In fact, he is a fireball in the very beginning. He mellows just a little bit, but the message doesn't change. Just the delivery changes a little bit. And but I want us to go to Colossians chapter 4, and this says in verse 5, says, live wisely among those who are not believers. Make the most of every opportunity. Let your conversation be gracious and attractive so that you will have the right response for everyone. Now, out of this New Living Translation, it makes that really plain in our approach to non-believers, and those that you might have questions, those that are thinking about becoming Christians, or maybe just interested in things, or question things altogether. It's pretty amazing to me that the same issues and the same challenges and the same things that the Apostle Paul is writing to the believers back then are still just as valuable today. Some things are more directed towards the Jews and the issues of their current time, but and in that way they're a little bit different, but they still apply, because we still have the same type of people today with the same problems. We still are lost in sin without Jesus, and we still fight an enemy called the devil, who comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And he still blinds the minds of people. He still influences people towards things that are the opposite of godliness. God wants us to live for Him. He wants us to live in a way, and has a way for us to live. And the thing is, it's not just that He controls everything and takes all the fun out of life. It's that there's something that comes along with the blessing, and with walking with Him, and with following Him. There's all those good things. And so, but He tells us, because this wasn't just written to the people back then, right? It was written to looking forward towards all believers. And so it was written for us as well. Live wisely among those who do not believe, who are not believers. We just come out of the holiday season. Some of you may still have some Christmases or something that you have to celebrate, but most people have that done. Thanksgiving and Christmas are and then the New Year. Those are just there's a lot of time spent with friends or people out. And he says, be careful how you live among those that are non-believers. Make the most of every opportunity. That's one of the key phrases that I wanted us to catch, because one of the things that Billy Graham was talking about in this sermon that I lost it partway through. I was taking a couple of notes off of it, things that really sparked me, and then I lost it, and I haven't been able to find it again. But and I've got lots of them coming up. It's just not the right one. But he talked about the time that they were living in, and our time as people. Here's the thing. We only are given so much time on this earth, and compared to eternity, it's nothing. It's a vapor. It's here today, virtually. I mean, it's just gone, and we don't know when our time is, but we need to take advantage of every opportunity. Something that I taught myself as I was first starting in ministry. One of the mentors that I had was a man who was just drove this home to me, that to always try to have something to do productive. If you're ever caught in traffic, which I'm not in really, get caught by a train over here on the east side of Enid, I have to sit and wait for a train to go by. But if you're caught in somebody's late for an appointment, or you're early, or whatever, if you have things that you can do, always try to be productive. We ought to ask ourselves that about opportunities that come to us where we can minister to somebody. Now, it's not always that we're just going to preach, but we just extend grace to somebody. We take advantage of every opportunity to be a picture of godliness or Christianity in a good light, in a good way. There's times that we're going to fall or fail, but if we can take advantage of the opportunity to repent of that, or ask forgiveness, there's an imperfection in all of us once in a while. We just want to limit that as much as possible, right? We want to work towards getting better. One of the things that a lot of people do in January is they try to, set up for the year a New Year's resolution or something that you want to do to be better. And that's a good thing. We ought to do that all the time, but if we don't do it all the time, let's at least do it right now. Try to find something that I want to live better or do better, be better at. He goes on here. He says, "Let your conversation be gracious and attractive, so that you will have the right response for everyone." Be intentional about your conversations. And so, maybe you're not big on New Year's resolutions. Maybe you've got a whole list of things. I think you can have too many things to work on possibly, but at least you're working on things, and that's all good. But becoming great, having your conversation be gracious and attractive in a way that can be received, saying the right thing at the right time. Man, that would be a great goal for all of us. That we do that. I've one of my statements that I've made is, Lord, I want to be wise beyond my years and experience, and that was a really important thing. When I was 30 years older, in my late 20s and 30s, even into my 40s, especially because I didn't have years and experience. I have years and experience now, but I don't have all that I need. There's still situations that I'm at a loss when I'm just in myself. I need God, and I need I need to be the best that I can be. Lord, help me to be. And so, I shared my vision board that I had a picture of Jesus ministering to a crowd. And he's standing up, and you could tell they were listening as he preached. And I said, Lord, I want the ministry of Jesus. I want to see like Jesus sees, and I want to communicate like Jesus communicated. He was a master communicator. I want to become that. I want to be that. And so I do okay. I want to continually get better. And so those are just things, and we could all be that way. Lord, help me to have the right things to say at the right time. Help me to be better. So if you could just have one thing, I know a lot of people want to, you want to pray more. You want to spend more time, building others up. Set a goal out there. If you've never led anybody to Christ, Lord, I want to lead somebody to Christ. I want to do that. And so then once that's up there as something that you visualize and you see, and you've written that down, and then I encouraged the church Sunday to put that up on your the mirror where you're getting ready, some of these things, and then you're seeing it, and you're seeing yourself in that. It'll begin to materialize, and you'll start to break down ways, because that's what you got to do with the goal. You have to break down the ways that you're going to get there, and you may not have all that right now. But if you've got a vision and you've got a goal out in front of you, the steps to get there, what's amazing is even without being super detailed in how it's going to happen, it'll just, if you keep it out before you, you're created in a way that, God made you, that you'll start to see and you'll start to work towards that goal. If you can see it and you begin to say it, that's what I want to be. If you verbalize that and write that down and put that out there before you will work towards that even without being detailed. But the valuable thing is that you'll begin to note when somebody says the right thing. You'll begin to realize when you say the right thing and the wrong thing, and it'll become more intentional. You'll walk away from a conversation, and all of a sudden you'll say, "Man, I missed an opportunity right there." All right. Well, if your goal is to take advantage of those opportunities, part of how to be better at something is to recognize the mistake, and then you have an opportunity to correct it next time you do better. I think about that analogy where, teaching my kids to hit a baseball, or teaching my kids to, the at-bats were important. It's why we took them to tournaments and did some of the things that we did, because they got more at bats so that they were comfortable. They'd been there before. They'd failed and they'd succeeded, and they knew the difference. I think about it with roping. We rope the dummy to to just on the ground to just simulate and build the muscle memory and build all the things we need so that when it's live action, then you just respond. And so going through that process, and it takes going to the practice pen and failing and succeeding both to see the difference, so that you know in the moment of nodding your head and roping, or in a batter's box and seeing the ball come out of the pitcher's hand, you know the situation, you know what's going on, you realize ahead of time, you learn to anticipate things, and it all comes by practice. So you're not going to practice the things that you don't have as part of where you want to be and what you want to do better. So put those things, lay those things out there, put those things out there, and just in understand that this is what I want to do, and allow God to be a part of that. God, what do I need to do? It doesn't need to be a big long list all the time, but just some things that God puts out there. So I encourage you to redeem the time, to take advantage of the opportunities that you have, and ask the Lord to give you the resources, the wisdom, the boldness, the compassion, the grace. See, there's a balance there. You got to be bold, but you also got to have grace. You gotta be on fire, and then you gotta not scorch the earth as you go. There's a great balance there. And I'll close with this. There's a lot of different styles in ministering to people. There's a lot of different styles and ways that people go about it, but you've got to make sure that you are doing what's needed in that opportunity, saying the right thing at the right time. Sometimes that's strong, sometimes it's subtle. All right, God knows the difference. So I think if we put ourselves in God's hands and say, God, I want to have wisdom in this situation. Maybe I build it over time. Maybe it's a one opportunity, and the word needs to be said, or the truth needs to be said. So put that out there as one of your things that you want to do, and go for it this year. I believe that's a great thing to add to your list. Well, listen, as we go out through our day today, take advantage of every opportunity and go get them for Jesus. Love y'all. Well, look at who all come on. Morning, Aranda. Morning, Bill Lehman. Ron Wade, good morning. Brad May, Scott Keller. I didn't get to see you, Mom. Good morning. I think I might have said that, but a few more on the early morning. Tonight will be the Deans at Sale Barn to Music. They're from Indiana. Very good, sweet couple and great singers. They'll sing. We're just going to start at 7 o'clock. The cafe's no longer open on Tuesday nights, so eat before you come. Come at 7. We'll wrap it up at 8 and get you back home. Anyway, it is good to see you this morning. We'll be blessed and have a great